Is this the greatest factory drag car ever produced? Even if you're not a Chevrolet guy, you gotta appreciate a 632 cubic inch big block with 1,000 naturally aspirated horsepower inside of a factory produced Camaro drag car. Let's take a look at this thing. So this is a 2023 Chevrolet COPO Camaro. This is serial number 24 out of a limited production of cars, and it's even more limited because it is the vivid orange color with special graphics and the 632 cubic inch big block. Now you can get a COPO in 3 different engine configurations: a supercharged 350, a naturally aspirated 427, and this naturally aspirated 632. And this thing's got a turbo 400 transmission in it. It's got special rear end with a spool. I mean, this is a drag car. This is not to be used on the street. And this particular car has never been raced. You'll notice that most of these COPO cars, they don't get raced. They get passed around to different collections. You'll see them at auctions all the time. They definitely don't get used for their intended purpose. But the unfortunate thing is that these COPO cars and any of the factory produced drag cars, that's probably going to be coming to an end pretty soon. That's just going to make these cars even more collectible. If the COPO program goes away, or if the Camaro goes away in general, obviously that's going to make these cars more collectible. This particular one passed through the Mecum auction in Chattanooga, Tennessee. It was bid up to $175,000 and didn't meet its reserve. So, that tells you a little bit about what these cars are going to be bringing. To compare them to a 1960s factory drag car, like the 63 Dodge that I featured on the channel, they were pretty exotic combinations. But when you look at this COPO Camaro, this thing is outrageous compared to those 1960s factory drag cars. I mean, this thing has an engine that you can't get in any other Camaro. This thing has a big block Chevrolet. Now, it is fuel injected, but this thing isn't some kind of like technological breakthrough. This is just raw horsepower, 1,000 horsepower out of just cubic inches compression, big cam. They're doing it the old school way, which I like a lot. But when you really consider how outrageous the chassis is, the roll cage, just every component on this car is purpose built. They've got factory drag racing wheels, drag racing tires, wheelie bars, a parachute, all these components that are necessary for going the types of speeds that these things can go. So, a car like this, I'm sure you can do the math and get the exact ET of what it should run. But I mean, this thing is certified for 850 or slower, and I would be willing to bet that it would dip into the 8s fairly easily. Maybe a little bit of tweaking here and there, but a factory drag car that can produce this type of performance is just unbelievable. And it makes me sad to think that this type of stuff is going to go away because of the end of the Camaro and the end of the Challenger. We'll just have to wait and see. But I wanted to give you an up-close view of this car so we can all appreciate what has to be the baddest factory drag car on the planet.